A Southwest Florida veteran is reconnecting with old Army friends after being separated from his brothers in arms for more than 50 years. Wait News investigative reporter Peter Fleischer joins us live in studio. And Peter, it took this long because his friends thought he died in Vietnam.
It's a story stranger than fiction. They said it was like seeing a ghost. Jim Coffey's story of service is inspirational. This is a man who was made his home and now reunited with the man who saved his life right here in Southwest Florida. When Jim Coffey shipped out for Vietnam in June 1968, he was just a scared kid, determined to serve and survive.
I knew this was going to be a year of tremendous sacrifice and keeping my head up. I wanted to make it through the 12 months.
Also serving with Coffey was 19-year-old Don Woodruff, known by his friends as Woody. It didn't take long for the two to bond.
But Jim and I just hit it off. It worked. It worked. He was a great guy.
9 months into his time in Vietnam, Coffey's life changed forever. Working in the field, his infantry engaged with the enemy.
We took fire. They said, "Coffey, let's go." I was the first to go.
But as Coffey raced into battle, he got shot in the head.
It just came. I don't know. And that's the last I remember.
His lifeless body on the ground in the middle of a firefight. An Army medic even declared him dead.
He says, "I can't do anything for him. He's gone."
The firefight continued. Woody couldn't live with the thought of leaving his friend's body there, so he threw Coffey over his shoulder and rushed him to a supply chopper, taking fire the entire time.
And I said, "Take him right now. Don't wait for a medevac. He has to go now."
Because he had put me on that chopper that day, and he thought that was the end.
I looked at him as the helicopter, and I said goodbye. Honestly, I thought he was dead.
Thanks to Woody, his helmet, numerous surgeries, and seemingly endless physical therapy, Coffey survived that gunshot wound. He ended up working for 40 years with the Department of Treasury before retiring to Southwest Florida. But Coffey's platoon members didn't know any of that until this year. The men he served with noticed he wasn't in the Vietnam casualties database. They quickly realized he'd been alive this whole time. After reconnecting with his old brothers in arms, it wasn't long before Coffey found a phone number for his old friend, Woody.
And I'll never forget this. "Hello, is this Woody from Vietnam?" "It is. Who's this?" He said, "Jim Coffey." Went silent.
I really don't have the vocabulary to express what it felt like or how to describe it. It was, in a lot of ways, I felt guilty, guiltsin. You know, like when you feel you should have done more or you could have done more.
After weeks of talking on the phone, the two reunited at Woody's home.
Man, I gotta compose myself. He came out and he was crying, grabbed me, hugged me. Most emotional time I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget that. And I owe my life to him.
Imagine having a brother or a parent that passed away and then you meet him again someday. But to this day, it's emotional.
Veterans Day has a special meaning to Coffey, a man whose friends still lovingly call him a ghost. But rather than reflect on his own journey on a day meant to honor the armed forces, his mind goes to others who have served.
But there's a lot out there that, you know, are heroes too. But people say to me, "Hey, thank you for your service." So I just say thank you. I don't know what else to say.
Jim Coffey says he hopes for two things on Veterans Day: respect and recognition for all who serve our country. I think that is the least that we can do. It was very special sharing those two men's story.
Oh my goodness, the very least that they deserve, and what an incredible story it is. So glad that they found each other.
It's such a great way to honor them too, to be able to tell that story today.
And it was not easy for them to talk about, but to share those experiences over the course of 50 years, it's inspirational. It's what they lived, but it's inspirational to a lot of us.
Yeah, what an incredible bond.
Right.
All right, thank you very much, Peter.